Okay, well, welcome back to Chumming with the Spirit. We got ParaChum, the legend, the myth, and I don't know. I think you're real. I don't think you're mythological beast at all. I really don't. And then we have the analyzer, the JD man. He comes with a really grounded opinion, but
and a nice encyclopedia of useless knowledge.
I would call him the bullshit artist of the 21st century. Are we in the 21st century or 22nd?
22nd.
Yeah, but he's really good. And then,
it's not bullshit if you know it.
I'm the old guy. I'm just trying to hang out with these two young guys and trying to hang out with him. So tonight we're going to talk about comic book hero.
No,
we're not.
No.
Not comic. I thought we were doing Century tonight. No, that's not the case. Okay, what are we doing?
Solar Man.
Same thing.
Yeah. We wanted to do another ParaTech talk with you guys tonight.
Whoa.
Tech Talk tips.
So this is definitely not
from ParaChum.
This is definitely not my situation. Go.
Yeah. What are you talking about? You own it.
Well, I do own it. Doesn't mean I know how to use it, right?
I've heard that.
That's what happens when you date the same girl.
Mm.
Joe, go ahead.
You own the girl, but you don't know how to use it?
Nah, never mind. This is why some
people
are still single. Yeah. By the way, ladies, single.
Yeah. So we recently talked to you guys about K2 meters, how they work, how they function. Tonight we wanted.
That's not a K2 meter.
This is not a K2 meter. No. Tonight we wanted to kind of go over my personal favorite piece of paranormal equipment as far as intrigue and reliability, and that's the voice recorder.
Also known as your phone.
As your phone.
You can't use your phone.
Now, I'm joking. When you actually get into doing text, there is a huge difference on microphones and setups on digital recording versus your iPhone. Or the phones are getting a hell of a lot better, and they work in a pinch. But honestly, there's quite a few. Not even. I'll be honest. I like the analog style.
Yeah.
Better. It picks up more. To me, picks up more. Doesn't cut it off versus the digital.
I've heard it.
It's the microphones.
Yeah, I've heard you can get more.
But what do you like so much about it? Why is that your favorite? Catches all your farts?
Yeah, it catches all my farts. When I first started in the paranormal field
years ago,
that was all I had.
They're still alive back then.
Yeah. Well, we're not going as far back as Dave.
Who can?
No. All I had was a cheap little digital compact camera and my voice recorder and flashlight, right? And I never caught anything on the camera because that's a rarity. If you ever catch anything, yeah. But I remember the first investigation. I was so excited about going home and putting the voice recorder data on my computer to listen to it.
Yeah.
And the first time I heard something on the recording that I don't remember hearing in real life, it kind of struck a nerve that, like, oh shit, like, there's something to this. And it just intrigued me, and it's to this day been my favorite piece of equipment, most reliable. I do have a tendency to hear things better than other people.
Well, no, I mean,
we can expand on that.
So that might be part of that. Yeah, that might be part of the intrigue.
You have to use it more often than we do to back up what you're saying.
Yes, very true. But I think as far as a piece of equipment that I would recommend to anybody starting out in this field, apart from a flashlight, that's the number one, is a cheap voice recorder. I mean, you can get them for...
Or use a minimum, you just use your phone.
Or just use your phone.
Has a flashlight on it, too. I mean, we're multitasking at this point.
Yeah. Well, back in the day...
I know. Back in the day, they didn't have all that stuff.
No. We didn't even have smartphones. So I would recommend that as being the first major piece of equipment to invest in. Just out of sheer usability, data collection, and functionality. Those are my thoughts. I don't think it's implemented as much as it should be anymore. More today, it's more about flashy lights and dingy bells and dingy people when it comes to paranormal, as opposed to actual evidence capture. And we'll get into what we would consider as different types of EVPs and that kind of thing here shortly, but I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the voice recorder. Maybe JD could give us a little exercise in what it does.
Well, before we do that, let's have a drink. So here's to you guys. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it.
Cheers.
Giggity.
So when we're talking about digital recorders, that's a wide spectrum of information. Basically, you're taking your analog input and it's putting in a digital format on some sort of media. I would have to agree with Parachum. One of the nice things about a digital recorder compared to a camera, you don't have to have it pointed in the right direction to capture something. And we're even now learning more as we use multiple mics.
And I have to say, a lot of potential EVPs can be skimmed over from audio of a video file because the person is more concentrated in seeing what they caught as opposed to hearing what they caught.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the software that you analyze with, I mean, you're going to just start out by listening. I mean, that's the only way you can do it. Software gets expensive, but the minute you can start putting that down and shows a channel with, I mean, you see it on all the ghost shows and that they show the voice, the audio and video, and you can see the channels. That makes a world of difference for picking up or seeing those EVPs.
Absolutely.
Now seeing that a multi-mic setup makes it even easier to pick things up because you have one channel. What's that there?
It makes it stranger for sure.
Yeah, but again, I can't. I mean, the number of times I've missed something because I forgot to move my camera, or I was messing with my camera, or it happened too fast. I mean, people don't realize, like, when you're doing this, so you think, oh, you had a camera in hand. Why didn't I? I don't know. It just, sometimes you're so awestruck at what you're looking at, you forget that you're pointed that way, or whatever. When you have you just put your digital voice recorder down, and if something's talking, it just picks it up. Yep. So that is one of the easiest tools, other than it's easy to introduce sound by tapping. By whatever it's put on, you have to be careful if, like, AC kicks on.
Farting. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So if don't forget to take your digital camera out of your front pocket, or down. Don't hold it down here by your waist, because you're going to pick up demons. And you're like, I swear to God, I'm hearing a demon. No. That's your stomach growling, right?
Yes. What's that white smoke going across the screen?
So keep it out of here, people, when you talk. Don't have it down there by your ass.
Honestly,
or your stomach.
To me, you're better off placing it on a table or something away from you that no one's touching.
Well, and no air movement.
Well, and that's another thing you don't realize. Like, you do have to be careful of air movement across the mic. It will make weird noises when AC kicks on. You may not realize that the air or a fan. But those are minor things. You pick those up fairly quick.
Well, and that's why it's so important to be, like, videoing as well when you're doing that, right? Or have someone videoing when you're doing that.
Or time logging. Time logging.
Absolutely,
yeah. The timestamp is...
You bump into something and say, I remember when I was at the Stanley Hotel, I knocked into the dresser and, like, everyone, oh, did you hear that? I go, that was me. I bumped up against the dresser. My bad.
Calm down, Juan.
Yeah, it's okay, Juan. Put your pants back on.
Yeah, they've made skits on SNL about that. Farting and somebody said, "Did you hear that?" It's like, well, no, I don't think that's real.
David, be gone. No, that's with him. I real quick story. One of the and I don't know if it was I think it probably was a Class A EVP. I was hunting with ParaChum at a place downtown Kansas City. It was the old Mason Hall place in an old building, and we were all getting ready to start our investigation. We're on the top floor, and I think you guys have probably heard this before, but I'll be real quick. We're on our way down to descend, and we heard a woman's voice, a disembodied voice. Okay, so we're like, holy shit, but we had our digital recorder going.
But it was so loud, we thought someone came
in, but we knew we were the only ones in the building. And we're like, holy cow, so we started asking questions, there was no response. We're like, Well, one of ParaChum's buddies had the recording. He goes, hold on, I was recording this. He played it back, and you could hear us asking who's there. In the background, you're, whispering on the freaking, that unnerved me.
Yeah.
I've seen full body operations. I've seen shadows. I've seen stuff move on their own. None of that affected me. But when I heard something on the recorder that I couldn't see,
it
was unnerving.
Yeah. No, I agree, because it's like if something was trying to interact with you or attack you or whatnot, you had no ability to stop it because you didn't know it was happening in real time. Did you see it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Off to the right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it, something quickly move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Transparent?
I just saw movement because
about this one?
I was at the side of I couldn't tell. I just saw movement.
Okay. Was it a ball?
It wasn't a ball.
I just saw movement.
More like a predator.
I got a big friggin' hand sitting right here, so it's kind of hard for me to see anything.
Let me see the hand. I apologize. I was trying to let ParaChum know and Jeremy, JD at that I'm a better Iron Man fan than he is, and I
Is that what you use?
I just want to let him know that I'm number one fan. So we will put this to the side.
Just set it back there. Where you had it? Or no, don't set it there because then they won't be able to see any
here.
of this.
It's all good.
I can move it over by Ed.
It's good. So when it comes to EVPs and voice recordings, I would say that there's definitely categories of classes based on audibility and strength in vocal tone and all that kind of stuff. I personally don't like at all most of the TV shows that you see currently on air when they say we caught a Class A EVP and all you hear is like, and then there's like, oh my god, it said I eat green beans or something, and I'm like, bitch, I don't know what you're smoking because I didn't hear that.
Or it's one of those ones, bro, did you hear that? I swear to God, it's a green bean, and we were right by the kitchen. Bro, you're so brave.
I have personally caught numerous times what I would consider Class A or even Class S EVPs where it's a human voice. It sounds like someone talking
S
to you in sentence.
Above Class A.
Yeah.
What's Class S stand for?
Super.
That's fantastic.
I'm just asking.
So what I was getting at is, don't look at the TV shows and the things that are on air when they're saying that's a Class EVP.
Okay.
Don't buy into that hype. Find out for yourself that there is something greater.
What? Let's break it down. Class A. I'm not going to go with Class S because that's an anime term. Anyways, One Punch Man. Anyways,
what are you doing over there?
Yeah. If you were to, what would your definition of a Class A EVP?
A Class A EVP for me would be clear vocalization. Like, it's not just a hum, a whistle, a laughter, but you can hear someone talking. What sounds like someone trying to talk.
That you did not pick up with
So I would go one step further. I think a Class A EVP would be a full sentence that is completely understandable.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yes.
But a Class S would be you understand what they're saying. In my opinion.
Super.
Yeah, super. I wouldn't put an S in there.
Well,
The only reason, because if you're going to do S, that to me, that would be a disembodied voice.
So, before we go any further on this divulgence, well, it's not necessarily a divulgence. This is what I would consider to be a Class A EVP that a friend of mine, ours, Rick, and I were investigating a long time ago, a place called the Longview Mansion, and we were in the basement. And you can hear someone repeating and prepeating us saying things that sound like us. I mentioned that my leg burns because it started to burn, and then you hear someone say, "Your leg burns," and then I go, "Yeah, right here," and it goes, "Yeah, right here," and it is neither one of us. Rick actually turned it into a audio forensicologist.
Sure.
You know what I'm going.
I know what you mean.
And
I'm sure that's what it's called.
Yeah, but I get what you're trying to say.
He analyzed it and determined that it was a human vocal pattern, but even though it sounded like us, it didn't match our vocal patterns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he could easily rule it out that it wasn't one of us talking. There was a third person in the room that wasn't in the room.
Well, let me ask you a question.
But let people listen to this real quick.
You see anything?
No.
Right here. It's right here.
You got like a red dot, like an ingrown hair?
You see anything?
No.
Right here. It's right here.
You got like a red dot, like an ingrown hair?
You see anything?
No.
Right here. It's right here.
You got like a red dot, like an ingrown hair?
I didn't hear anything. Sorry.
So, why is this such an important thing for someone to use? Why are they using a digital recorder?
Versus like your phone or versus...
Why would you do that?
So...
What are we trying to accomplish with that?
So with the digital recorder...
Science.
The mics on these... there's a difference between cheap and expensive, and there's mid-grade.
A lot of them are omnidirectional.
That's probably mid-grade. I paid like maybe $90 for that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
3 or
high
4
grade.
years ago.
Yeah. That's actually higher up on... Like, the high-end ones are only like 150.
I was trying to be thorough as an investigator.
90% of them, the upper-end ones like these, generally are omnidirectional, meaning they're the microphone... And most of them have dual mics or multi-mics, so they'll pick up in multiple directions.
Yeah, usually they're crossed at the top.
The really fancy ones are,
Zooms.
Yeah, they have the crossed. You literally see the microphones off the top of them. They're a 360 mic.
Sure, I've seen them.
The one thing that you're trying for is we're going. So what we hear is analog. This is literally taking an analog signal and digitizing it, and there are certain sample rates that you want. The higher the sample rate, the better. What happens when it gets digitized is it has to take this analog wave and cut it into slices into levels, and if it's a low sample rate, you will lose definition on the sound. You'll lose high tones, you'll lose low tones, so you want a high sample rate. Same with if you're into audio files and you like music, you want a high sample rate if you're doing anything digital, so you catch all the peaks and everything else. The next thing for me, most smartphones now, like iPhones, iPhone Pros, they have the capabilities of being able to do recordings and be able to analyze it on the phone, versus where these, all you can really do is play back. And that's why I think we're slowly shifting out of using these and going more towards telephones because you can download software that can show you the voice pattern and levels versus you don't get that with this anymore.
And I think you're seeing more investigators use the phone.
I think that's just more ease of accessibility.
But it's easier to show also.
Yes.
I mean, because like this, we record, we catch everything. It catches everything else that a phone or even these 3 mics do. The problem with it is when I go to play back, it's you're going to watch the 3 of us go,
exactly.
oh yeah, or we got headphones on. Versus if we use this software or the 3 mics with the board and have software, you can just show it right then and there, and you can see each one of the channels. You can go, oh, and this is, it's not on these mics, it's on this mic, and then we can zoom in. That can't really be done with this. Not saying that this isn't a valuable asset. This is something like you're saying, definitely use your phone, use mid to high grade one of these when you start out.
Yeah.
If you start getting into, you're getting a ton of EVPs, ask around. There would probably be somebody in the area that can say, okay, well, if you're getting a lot of EVPs, maybe I have software that we can look at it with, or maybe we take my equipment and set up and go. Like, I mean, that's something that in most of our community of supernatural investigations, there's a lot of people that have the technology and they're willing to share and teach people before somebody goes and buys it. So keep that in mind. But this is definitely, I think it's going to become a relic in probably the next 10 years as the technology of phones keep on improving. But for right now, it's
I'm
definitely...
still going to use the shit.
You're a relic, though.
Well, I can tell you,
if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
On that recorder, I was doing an investigation at a theater out in Kansas with a wife, husband. They have their own paranormal group, and they've always been nice to me, and I so much appreciate them. Not only did they take me out a couple times, but they came over and showed me how to use my equipment. About all this equipment, they came over and spent the afternoon with me.
That's cool.
It was very nice of them, and they're really good people. I value them. I haven't kept in touch with them. Bad for me, but they've kept in touch with my son for some reason on Facebook, which is cool.
That's because you're not on there.
Well, probably is. So I was in a theater where a guy supposedly committed suicide or died, and I was investigating that area, and I was sitting down. I was by myself, and I had my millimeter, and I was asking questions, and my millimeter got buried. It went to past 900. It was freaking just nuts, right? It was going off. It was just going stupid. And I'm like, wow, this is a really interesting place, isn't it? And I got a EVP on it. I said, well, yes, it is.
That's cool.
I mean, it was that clear. And they caught it, and they put it on their file and stuff like that. But so the $90 I paid for this, or whatever I think I paid for it, was worth that right there.
Yeah, the one Class A EVP that you catch on a device makes that worth whatever you spend on it.
Yeah, and it was a combination of the millimeter and that collaborating.
And to close this out...
Why are we closing it out so soon? Why are you shutting us down?
Well, he's got a timeline. He wants to make it short, and he wants to drink more. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So to close it out on this ParaTech talk, what are your guys' interpretations of how things are portrayed in TV shows, media, social media, and all that kind of stuff in categorizations of EVPs? Do you think it's a detriment? Do you think it's done wrong?
Yes and no.
Oh, really?
Difference. I mean, there depends on what which we're talking about.
Oh, who's doing it?
What I'm like, if we ever get off our asses and do another investigation together, right? Because not trying to hunt a beast that doesn't exist.
I'm telling you, it was a bear with mange.
Yeah,
a black bear with
mange. I'm going with that.
I think it was just Dave.
Running naked again.
For 1920? It wasn't me. So
I didn't say your name was Dave.
But I really want to do an investigation with you guys with a new view, and I would like to show people how to. Hey, bro! Wow, you're so brave, man. you
That's demonic.
That black shirt looks great on you, man. Let me put on some more eyeliner. I want to go out and do a serious investigation, but I want to show my opinion on what you should do.
That is fair. That would also be a good platform for us on these tech talks. To go, hey, we've talked about this. This is how this works. Let's see what we can get, and then Don't do this.
Overreact?
Yeah.
No,
bro.
Yeah, okay.
You can't move. That light
I
flash.
swear, man, I'm not going down there. You're not locking me in there. Which is what they do to you a
So,
lot.
what are your answers?
Yes and no. Yeah, I mean, it has helped a lot, but some certain episodes that are really popular that people buy into, which is fine. I mean, it's a source of entertainment. They
Some. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
overdo it.
Yes.
I mean, just,
So you're saying that
after portrayal,
the quality of EVPs that they're classifying high is not correct, but it's
I think
helped.
the show.
I that's what I was saying. There's certain.
That's what I was trying to say.
There's a
Depends
group
on the show.
There's a group of people, and they've kind of split up and have their own shows now here and there. They have always maintained a very strict classification on VVPs that I think really helped out.
And I appreciate that.
Yes, you know one of them personally.
Yeah.
The other ones that we're talking about, the bros and
The hose.
The eyeliner, the tight
has
black
not
shirts.
necessarily. I think they mean well and they're doing a TV show, but they have detrimentally skewed the classification of EVPs because yes,
And understanding of it.
and understanding because they're classifying stuff as A that I wouldn't even rate as a C because it's so mumbled or garbled and they've amplified it so much
And play everything.
Yeah.
Not just that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a cold spot, man. This has got to be evil. You know, I just don't,
But I also get they're on TV. They are trying to get people to come in. You know, if I had a show, I'd probably, if you're trying to make sure people are entertained,
That's it, right?
That's it.
We're gonna,
More rockets.
we're gonna act even more.
I'm not even going to touch on that
I
one.
used to love 4th of July. I'm
done.
so sick
I'm
and tired of rockets. But no, I think you're right, man. I think it's,
Dragons are pretty cool, though.
and I don't know if we can pimp shows or not, but and if we want to cut this out or not, but
Pimp shows. Okay.
yeah, I really like the Holzer Files.
Oh yes,
I think they've
really
done
was.
an excellent job. And I'm not a medium person. I'm
Now
more double X.
Double X.
But I
Triple X.
But they bring something to the table, and I find it compelling. find it entertaining.
There are good mediums and mediocre mediums, and they do make a difference.
So like a doctor,
just like
doctor, a bad doctor.
There's meaty goods and meaty bads.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think there are some shows I think helped out. I think there are some shows that have just kind of maintained to keep it in the limelight.
Yeah.
And then you have other shows that pop in that kind of set the bar on certain things. Like I used to enjoy, not that I enjoyed Ghost Hunters, the first probably five.
Absolutely.
Because they still were working as plumbers, doing this show, learning new equipment.
And 75% of the stuff they would say it's not haunted.
Well,
yeah.
Even if it was, there was not enough proof to say, hey.
It was very rare that they would actually say it's absolutely haunted. That was a rare event.
And that's my problem with ghost investigators.
Yes.
People are so quick to say, oh, that's what it was. No, dude, back off a little bit. Use a little common sense.
As we get into this and being honest about technology, as you mentioned, catching actual video is really rare and hard. I mean, you're doing multiple sites, multiple nights, going to very active locations. And even a very active location, you may only get one minor piece of evidence. And when we're talking about EVPs, it's the same thing. You might get a whole bunch of small Class C that it's so tempting. But that's it. That was me. Stomach that.
Talking about EVPs.
that was an audible. That'd be a Class S, as you'd said.
I don't know, dude. I got something. But you're right. I'll leave it alone.
But it's also the same thing. Like that may happen, but you could go back there 10 times, and the 10th time at that location could just be off the charts. You don't know.
You don't know what triggers it, what causes it, what time of year. Well, and that's where I liked. I can't remember the name of the show, but they would spend three days.
Oh yeah,
locked in.
Yeah.
And that to me,
Paranormal Lockdown.
yeah, I think it was Paranormal Lockdown.
Yeah.
They'd stay 3 nights. It was
Nick Groff.
Nick Groff.
Yeah.
Great idea, because the original show he was on, they are going to some exclusive, very active places. They are lucky that they can get in there, and they are getting activity. Some of it, though, is sensationalized.
Yeah.
If you're getting into this, hopefully it's not because the place that you live at is having activity. It's because you want to go somewhere else and get activity.
No, it's something that intrigues you. Something that you. It's a passion, right?
It is hours upon hours of nothing.
But talking to yourself in the dark.
Yeah. And even with the best,
With the digital recorder, right?
with the best, with the best equipment, you're gonna. I mean, there are days worth of data before you catch like even a Class C, and don't let that discourage you. That I mean, that's part. It's like all the social media, everybody living on yachts and that. No, that's not really it. That's one day out of the year for them.
But that's so easy for us to say though. We have all. The three of us.
But how many hours?
Have visually and here. I mean, these are my favorite tools. Here and here, right?
They're personal experiences because you didn't film it.
Well, that's it. It's a bullshit story, right?
I thought you were going to say these are my favorite.
But I mean, to be fair though, I would have to. To me, a personal experience and seeing something is almost more valuable to me than catching it on film.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so easy to say, hey, don't let it discourage you, because we've seen it all, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have questions. We've seen stuff. So
and you've seen stuff that's probably not even legal in most states.
That's just the website.
I don't want to talk about the donkey thing.
I don't know if they're legal in any state.
But, but I'm trying to, I just want to make sure people understand as we talk about this. I mean, there's days worth. There's days.
Fuck was that?
I'm so hoping that's a dog yawning is what I thought that. I mean, that was. I don't think that was Liz.
Does she sleep?
I didn't sound like a dog. That was like.
Yeah. Anyways,
That's probably my bulldogs.
That's what I thought.
Probably them snoring.
Something. It's definitely on audio because it was loud enough.
Keep telling yourself that.
But
I have no problem.
I would like to say, don't get discouraged. I mean, we got days of, if not weeks worth of video and audio, nothing of just
2 words, Bray Road.
Yeah. 8-hour drive up, 8-hour drive back. But keep in mind, it's the adventure. It's the experience to be able to go and hang out. And
it's the journey to get there.
Yes. I mean, that's ultimately, it's kind of like D&D.
That was a rough. That was rough.
It's not about the location. It's about the
No. It was definitely about the location. And I think I got snowed. Like, the snow job from hell.
How come there's 20 plus fucking houses? What the hell?
How many hours am I driving this fucking truck? Well, you guys get the...
Yeah, so that's, tech tip. Highly recommend it. A digital recorder.
Great. Probably the best.
I mean,
you can have.
in my opinion,
if you have an iPhone, I would say use your iPhone and save up for software to be able to analyze.
Yeah.
But if you don't, let's be honest, if you got a cheap phone.
I mean, they could have an Android too and still use a voice recorder.
Really? Is that possible?
Wow.
But I'm just saying, not everybody can afford a decent phone.
No.
If you think your phone's because like even an iPhone is not omnidirectional, you really need to have it up with the mic. Those do make it easier. Their pricing is coming down, but like I said, you want to try to get high sample rate. That way, it doesn't distort the sounds coming in as much. It is definitely a tool next to the flashlight.
Yeah.
It's got to be a dog snoring up there, because if not.
They're on the couch snoring.
You need a sleep apnea mask for your dogs.
I haven't heard it again.
I know. It's snoring. It's random. But it's got to be the dogs.
You should hear they get on a roll and go, and the other one goes like,
Yeah, that's like
It's
goblins.
horrible. It's
So,
horrible.
to
Finish this out.
finish this off, thank you
Whoa.
guys for watching.
Finish me out.
Until next time.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Be safe.